Hey, what's up? It's Panzerkunz here. It's been a while, but in this video, I wanted to show you three examples of what I call the arts of opportunity. So a lot of times in battles, I see players missing the chances to take these opportunities, either because they don't know, they don't care to know, they didn't notice. But taking the advantage of these little things that happen in a battle make a big difference overall. So the first one is I'm heading into this sector. The enemy team is about to capture it. So let's see what plays out here. Okay, so the enemies just capture this base, right? And are you see on top it says locked for 30 seconds? So for 30 seconds, nothing can happen as far as capturing. So a lot of times what I see people doing is this was just captured and then they go in and start shooting down all these planes, which is natural. You see an enemy or an opponent, you want to take them out. But what I see is a chance to flip this back very quickly because I have a Yak 3 here on low health. I have an IL 1. I know I can outmaneuver in every single way. The only thing is the IL 1 is tougher than me, but I can avoid it. The Yak 1M, I can dance with them, and the P47, I can get behind them. But if they die, if it dives or gets out of the sector, there's not much I can do. So what most players do in this point, they go after the IL, they kill the Yak, they chase these, and the bots, whenever something is just turned, they generally get away from the area because there's nothing for them to do. So you kill the two that are in here, and then you chase these out and you destroy them, let's say about right there, and you get 0 capture points to get this back into your team. So in this situation, there's no players around me, and in this game, there's only two of us on one side because it was a tier 7, so the matchmaker couldn't match us. So yes, I do understand it's a bot game, but this would happen regardless if it was some other players. But if they were in the area, I obviously can't. I wouldn't be able to do this. But let's just say they weren't in the area. This is something I would do. So it's locked for 25 seconds. And instead of immediately trying to kill them, I just want to soften them up. So see this Yakwan M? It's coming in. I'm gonna dodge him. I ignore the P47 right here, and I have 8 seconds left. If I kill him now, I get zero credit for it. If I wait 8 seconds, I get 60 capture points. Whenever you're attacking and you destroy an enemy aircraft, you get 60 capture points. So I only need 2 aircraft to turn this back. Versus if I wait for the ADA, they're 40 each. I would need to kill 3 ADA or kill a bunch of ground targets if I was a bomber or something. But in this case, I only need 2 aircraft. But you have to be smart about it. You have to wait until the timer goes down. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and immediately, before it even turns, I messed up. I messed up the turn right there. I could have got him in one turn. Oh, I wanted to go back. Um, when I was looking at this earlier, the time that it switched was 9:29. So keep that number fresh in your mind. 9 minutes and 29 seconds was when this base clicked over, right? So I destroyed one, and look at this. It's already halfway. I'm already halfway to capping this. Okay. What do I see? The IL. I'm avoiding the ADA because they're not worth as much to me. This IL one, going right after him. Finish him off here. Okay, I just captured that, and the time is 9:10. So it was 9:29 when it first clicked. I reviewed this replay just before. So 19 seconds it took me to capture this, and just look how cool that looks. Look at the reward you get for capping something so quickly. I mean, that's pretty cool, I must say. So what would have took me a minute to 2 minutes or whatever, trying to kill 3 ADA, trying to bomb, trying to do whatever, I did in 19 seconds just by waiting for the timer to go up, softening up the enemies that are in the area, and finishing them off exactly when it turned to 0. So now we'll move on to the next clip, and all these clips are from this same battle. Okay, so this is the same battle. After I captured the center, I came over here to the command center. And as you see, the team has the other command center on the top right. So I don't want them to get the one on the bottom left too, because it'd be very hard to come back from a team having two command centers and they already have an airfield. Excuse me. So the first thing I notice when I come in here, I hear a lot of people say, if you're in a light fighter, you should never fire at ground targets. It's the stupidest thing to do. And in general, yes, it's true. You shouldn't be focusing on ground targets as a light fighter. But the art of opportunity, right? Look at what you see in the middle. You see a command center worth 50 points, and it's very low on health. That got my attention right away. And one thing you need to do is you need to memorize the layout of all of these ground targets because sometimes the main area, the main structure, like the radar dish, will have low health, but it will still take a few passes to take it out because it's a concrete structure. But this caught my eye. It's the little silo there. That's a soft target. 20s and even machine gun fire can take that out. So I immediately focused on that because these two 80A are chasing the heavy fighter. Now there's another fighter up there, and then to my left, their bombers are coming in. So if I waste time trying to go over there, by the time their bombs drop, they're gonna flip this. So taking advantage of what you see, I'm gonna go straight for that ground target. And luckily, ADA, okay, see, they have 260 capture points, so they're almost ready to take it. And then we need 260, and the other team just needs 20. That's what that means. So the blue, that's how much the other team needs, or that's how much we have. And 260 represents how much we need to capture this. So we need to take away what they have and then get it blue to our side. So essentially, my team needs 260 capture points to get this, and the enemies only need 20. So look what happens when I destroy that one target. Boom, minus plus 50. Look how far it swung. It was here, and now it's all the way up here. So now we need 165, and the enemies need 115. So I made a dent there. And going after this 88, and I'm looking around, and I see this other one here. But if you notice, the guns with the two bunkers there are definitely tougher to take out. I wouldn't be as excited to get to one of those. The guns with the three houses are easier, but those are worth 15. These are worth 20. So keep that in mind too. If you come into a sector and all the ADA or all the aircraft are heavy fighters up there and you're in a light fighter, you only need 15 and you see one of these, maybe two of those are destroyed, you can do it. Go for it. I'm telling you to go for it. But as a rule, let's just say try to get it in one pass. So if you're a light fighter, you should only be looking at ground targets that you can get in one pass because you shouldn't really be on the ground. You should be in the air. But I can tell you it makes a difference. And the good players in this game always notice that. Whenever you go into a sector, just take a glance at the ground targets. You'll be surprised how many times something like this, a big one, is just one little sliver. And if you never pay attention to ground targets, you're like, oh, I'm a life fighter, I never need to look. You're missing out on all those capping and you're missing out on all those capture points that you should be getting. And all you need to do is, for a couple seconds, take a look at the ground as you enter a sector, and they'll make a big difference. Okay, so this next clip from the same battle is also something that's can be important, but it's very niche. You won't really get to use it that much. So you have to take advantage when the opportunity presents itself. So for example, you're going into an airfield, you're going into a sector, and you're outnumbered, you're on low health, maybe squall line is about to hit, maybe the battle is at the turning point, you need this one thing, you need to get this one base to keep your team afloat, or else you're gonna lose for sure. So desperate times call for desperate measures, right? So when you're going into an enemy base, look at the number on top. See how it's 100? Basically, that's how much you need to capture this. So remember the first clip I told you, an enemy aircraft is worth 60. These various ground targets are worth 15, 20, 35. But as a light fighter, you're not really focusing on those. And ADA, which is the air defense aircraft, these that fly around are worth 40. So obviously, you always want to be going for enemy aircraft. They're the best bang for your buck. They're 60. They're worth more than even the high value ground targets. Like the mining plant is worth 60. I mean 50. The radar dish that we destroyed is worth 50. So keep that in mind. The most valuable ground targets are still less valuable than an enemy aircraft in their own sector. Always try to go for those if you can. So in this situation, there's two yaks. They're pretty much full health. I'm very low health. There's only one other ally here, and there's one, two, three, four AD. It's 6-2. I'm greatly outnumbered. So when I kill one of these yaks, I get 60, and when they defend, so when you're defending, you kill enemies, you get 40. So if we were to ram each other and die, I would get 60, they would get 40. So I would have a net of 20. So the attackers have basically it's like a kamikaze attack, you know. So let's just say if I was coming into this and we only needed 20, right? It would take me forever to try to kill them. It'll take me forever to try to get the ADA. I maybe can go here, but I'll still need more. If you could just ram one, you will automatically get it because you will net 20 capture points. So let's see how this plays out. We're at 100. I see the yak, and this is where I decide I'm just gonna go full ram. And the thing with bots, if you're if you're the same class of aircraft, like fighter versus fighter, and you're lower health than them, they will ram you. If I was a multi-role, the light fighter would move out of the way unless I had very low health. If I was a heavy fighter, the light fighter always move out of the way. So to keep that in mind too. If you're a heavy aircraft going against a light fighter, they're gonna dodge. You won't really be able to ram them. But if you're the same class, multi-role versus multi-role, heavy versus heavy, and your health is kind of similar, and you feel you can take them out, it's definitely a viable option. So my team needs 100 capture points, right? So I'm just going full on ram. The enemy killed me, so they got 40, right? So instead of needing 100, I need 140 now. Excuse me, because they got 40 points. But I didn't kill him outright. I think I set him on fire. See the yak 1M? So the yak is flying. I'm dying. I'm like, okay, it was a failed attempt. My ramming didn't work, right? But look what happens. The yak, the yak dies. I destroyed him, and it went from 140. It went minus 60, so 80. So coming into this, it was at 100. So my plan actually worked. I netted 20. So in the grand scheme of things, this didn't really change much. But imagine if this was right before squall line and the other team was about to get superiority. You're about to lose. You just need to get one thing, do this ram, and in a second, in an instant, you get 20 capture points instead of having to chase ADA up there, instead of having to uh, try to outfight when you're down three. The ratio is down 3-1. You know, 6-2. Try to do a ram, and then you will come up on top in these type of situations. So that's pretty much it for my art of opportunity. I was just ran. I don't play anymore that much, to be honest, but I just jumped in the Spitfire here, German Spit, and these kind of three happens. That gave me the idea for this video. So that's it. Thanks a lot.